Despite being famous professional wrestlers now, some current WWE superstars once had regular jobs. Before achieving fame and fortune, many WWE superstars had to work various jobs to pay their bills. Hello, I'm Jordan Ace, and you're watching Wrestling Dojo. Most fans probably know that Mustafa Ali, for instance, worked as a police officer while wrestling part-time before he left his job to become a full-time performer. Similarly, it's well known that Sheamus was an IT technician and a nightclub bouncer before his wrestling career took off. However, the WWE Universe might not be aware of the previous jobs held by some other superstars. These athletes also had to earn a living by working regular jobs before finding success inside the squared circle. Here are 10 pro wrestlers whose past occupations might surprise you. But who are these superstars? Get comfortable, and we'll find out. Although Charlotte Flair's father, Ric Flair, is a wrestling legend, the Queen initially did not want to pursue a career as an in-ring performer. Instead, she grew up playing volleyball and, after graduation, worked as a personal trainer at a gym. In her autobiography, Second Nature, The Legacy of Ric Flair and the Rise of Charlotte, the SmackDown Women's Champion revealed why she chose to become a personal trainer. When considering her career options, Charlotte thought about physical fitness, something she had been involved in her entire life. Given her extensive experience with personal trainers and her athletic background, she felt that becoming a trainer was a natural fit. Before graduating from NC State, she ordered the necessary materials to become certified as an ACE personal trainer. Once she passed the exam, she reached out to a trainer who had worked at her father's gym years earlier and now owned private studios in ideal locations. She informed him that she had graduated from NC State and had her ACE certification. After an interview, she started working a few days later. Before embarking on a career in professional wrestling, Liv Morgan made a living by working a regular job. At 17 years old, she had dropped out of high school in 2010 during her sophomore year and soon applied for a waitress position at a restaurant. She recalled how she went in, applied, got hired, and found that she loved the job. The restaurant not only provided her with employment, but also an opportunity, which she greatly needed at that time. It marked the first occasion in her life where she had real responsibility, even if it was as simple as ensuring that customers' wings were hot and their beer was cold. She embraced this responsibility. The restaurant also held beauty pageants and published its own calendars, inspiring Morgan to join DeFranco's gym in New Jersey to get in shape. She began working out and achieved the best shape of her life with the help of Joe DeFranco, who had trained high-level professional athletes, including Triple H soon after. She earned a tryout with WWE, the organization she had always dreamed about joining. Kevin Owens began learning the ropes of professional wrestling at a very young age. However, after finishing high school, he needed to earn a living. To support himself during his early days as a wrestler, he worked part-time at a gas station. In a 2017 interview with MLive, the former Universal Champion discussed his first job. He shared that while he was always pursuing his dream of wrestling, for the first 7 years of his career, he worked part-time at a gas station. Despite finishing high school, he still needed a job to make a living. Fortunately, he had a supportive boss who allowed him the time off he needed to wrestle. Before joining Vince McMahon's company in 2014, Owens competed in several different promotions. Since then, he has won multiple titles, including the NXT Championship, the Universal title, and the Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch began her wrestling career as a teenager in 2002. However, she stepped away from the sport 4 years later after suffering a serious head injury in 2006. During her time away from the squared circle, She worked several regular jobs to make a living, including bartending and teaching foreign languages. In a 2016 interview, Big Time Bex shared that she explored many different paths during that period. She explained that she tried everything she thought she wanted to do before coming to WWE. Between her time on the independent circuit and getting signed, there was a 7-year gap. In the interim, she did everything she thought she wanted. She worked as a flight attendant, lived in New York as a bartender, took cooking and martial arts classes, taught a foreign language, went back to college to study acting, which she loves, and even did stunt work. Before becoming a professional wrestler, Roman Reigns initially pursued a career in football. However, things did not go as planned, and he retired after being released from the Edmonton Eskimos in November 2008. After leaving football and before joining WWE, the tribal chief worked a regular job to support himself. In an interview with ESPN's First Take, he reflected on this transition. Realizing that his time in football was over, he accepted that he wasn't making any teams at that point. Having just welcomed his daughter, he knew it was time to step up and make a change. Reigns then started working for his sister's business, installing office furniture. Despite having a steady job, he felt unfulfilled. He mentioned that he was working 9 to 5, but felt out of place wearing a furniture company shirt. He knew he was meant for something else, but was uncertain about what that might be. However, he saw WWE as a potential path and was grateful when they gave him an opportunity. He felt he had found the right team and was determined to make the most of it. Kofi Kingston is another WWE superstar who had a regular job before finding success in professional wrestling. The Ghanaian studied advertising, marketing, and PR at Boston College, initially aiming for a career in commercial work. Kingston worked as a proofreader at Staples. In an interview with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, the former WWE champion shared details about his previous job. He ended up at Staples headquarters, working on the company's big catalog, The Beer's Guide. His role involved proofreading one of the sections, specifically the chairs section. The job required attention to detail, as all the pictures of the chairs had to be facing the inner pane of the book, which was considered very important. Despite his efforts, when he finally received the completed Beer's Guide, he didn't even look at it and instead threw it in the trash, knowing that others would do the same. The former world champion also revealed that he hated his office job, waking up angry every morning because he had to go to work. This frustration continued throughout his day, from his commute to his time in the office, where he worried about products he didn't care about, and then back home, knowing he had to repeat the cycle the next day. Natalya Neidhart hails from one of wrestling's royal families. Although she began wrestling at a young age, the former SmackDown Women's Champion had to work as a waitress to support herself financially. On an episode of Ask the Divas, Neidhart shared her experiences from her previous job, revealing her frustration with messy customers. She recalled cleaning tables at a restaurant and how she couldn't stand dealing with the mess left behind by customers. However, she appreciated that the job provided her with the money to shop. In one of her articles in the Calgary Sun, the Queen of Hearts also disclosed that she used to borrow a pickup truck from a loyal fan of her grandfather's promotion, Stampede Wrestling, to get to work so she could wrestle on weekends. She remembered Jim and Debbie, both devoted Stampede Wrestling fans, and how Jim lent her his blue pickup truck because she couldn't afford a car. Their help was something she never forgot. AJ Styles competed in various promotions before joining Vince McMahon's company in 2016. During his early wrestling days on the independent circuit, The phenomenal one didn't earn much money, which led him to take on other part-time jobs to support his family. In an interview with the Daily Reporter, Styles emphasized that getting into wrestling for the money is the wrong approach, especially on the independent circuit where the earnings are limited. He stressed the importance of patience and highlighted that wrestling, like life, is about gaining experience. To make ends meet, the former WWE champion took on odd jobs such as mowing lawns and working part-time as an ambulance driver. Bayley began her wrestling training as a teenager, working at a pet store to help cover the costs. However, her salary at the pet store wasn't enough to fund her wrestling training, so her family stepped in to assist her. In an interview with the Kingston Whig Standard, the role model expressed gratitude for her family's support during this challenging time. Despite struggling to make ends meet with her job at the pet store, her family helped cover the expenses of her wrestling training so she could continue pursuing her passion. In 2018, WWE revisited Bayley's past by taking her back to the pet store where she had worked years earlier, filming an episode of formerly known as. During the episode, the 32-year-old demonstrated her former duties at the store, reflecting on her journey from those humble beginnings to her current status as a WWE superstar. According to you, whose first job is better? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe for us, watch all videos, and smash the like button. Go and follow us both in Instagram and TikTok. See you soon.